You're about to learn something that will change how you see every situation where things went wrong with a woman, because there are 4 types of men women quietly avoid. And the reason most guys never figure it out is because she doesn't tell you. She doesn't send a message explaining what went wrong. She just slows down, gets a little less available, and eventually you're left wondering what happened, running through every conversation trying to find the moment you lost her. But after studying hundreds of these situations and breaking down what actually changes her behavior, I found a pattern. 4 specific types, and once you can spot which one you're being, you'll understand exactly why it keeps going wrong and what to change. By the end of this video, you'll know all 4, but if this hits close to home, there's a book I put together called The Truth Detector. It breaks down exactly how to know if she's genuinely interested, if she's keeping you around for attention, or if she's playing games. First link in the description. But let's get into this, because most guys think the problem is something obvious. What they said, what they look like, how much money they make. It's not. It's the type of energy they're showing up with, and they don't even know they're doing it. Starting with type 1, and this is the one that looks the most harmless from the outside. Picture this. She tells you where she grew up. Your instinct says, oh cool, I love that place. She mentions a show she's watching. You've seen it too, you love it. You tell her immediately. She brings up something she's into. You're into it too. Everything she puts on the table, you match it. You agree, you validate, you light up. Seems like connection, right? But watch what just happened. Every time she said something, you handed her your approval before she did anything to earn it. She mentioned one thing and you were already sold. So now she knows exactly where she stands with you, and it cost her nothing to get there. Therefore, the chase is already dead and she can feel it, even if she can't explain it. This is the overvalidator. He's not a bad guy. He's just too available with his approval. He agrees too fast. He's too impressed too soon. And what she registers on the other end isn't warmth. It's that there's nothing left to figure out. No question left to answer. So her brain stops being curious about him. This is based on Robert Cialdini's research on influence and scarcity. When something feels easy to get, it loses value. When someone has to earn it, they want it more. And that applies directly to your attention and your approval. So here's what changes it. She mentions the show she's watching. Instead of I love that show, you'd pause. Then you say, okay, what episode are you on? Because it gets really bad in season 2. Now she's defending it. She's explaining why she disagrees. She's working for your reaction instead of just receiving it. That's a completely different dynamic, and she feels it immediately. But here's the tension most guys don't see coming. If you never validate her at all, she thinks you're cold or just not interested. So where's the line? It's simpler than it sounds. You make her earn specific things. You don't just hand over your enthusiasm the second she speaks. You stay genuinely curious instead of immediately impressed. That's the difference between a guy she keeps thinking about and a guy she forgets before she gets home. Think about the last time you were talking to someone you were really into. Did you agree with everything she said? Drop a comment. I'm genuinely curious how many people recognize this in themselves. But type 2 is where it gets more interesting, because this one doesn't look like a problem at all. It actually looks like confidence. Type 2 is the guy who has a lot going on, and he knows it. He's got goals, he's working on something, he talks about his vision, his plans, where he's headed, and for the first few minutes that's actually attractive. Ambition is attractive, drive is attractive, but then something shifts. Every conversation somehow ends up back on him. She shares something about her week, and within 30 seconds he's relating it to something he's doing. She asks him a question and he's off. 5 minutes on his business, his gym progress, his opinion on something nobody asked about. She's nodding, smiling, but inside, she's already somewhere else. He thinks he's connecting. He's not. He's performing. And here's what's actually happening on her end. She's not asking, is this guy successful? She's asking, does this guy actually see me? And he's failing that question every single time. Not because he's a bad person, but because he's so focused on being impressive that he forgot to be interested. Researchers who study what makes conversations feel meaningful found that people don't remember the most impressive person they talk to. They remember the person who made them feel most understood. That's the gap this type of guy never closes. So the fix isn't to stop talking about your life. It's to get genuinely curious about hers. Not politely curious. Not cool anyway. Back to me curious. actually curious. She says something and you find the most interesting thread in it and you pull on it. You ask the follow-up that shows you are actually listening. Not, what do you do for work? But, wait, how did you even end up in that? There's a difference, and she knows it immediately. But here's where type 3 comes in, and this one is going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people watching this, because type 3 looks like strategy. It looks like self-awareness. It looks like a guy who's done the reading and knows what he's doing. But underneath all of it is one thing driving every move he makes: fear. Think about it. She doesn't text back for a few hours. His brain goes straight to work. Should he wait before responding? Should he say something playful to re-engage her? Should he go cold so she wonders what happened? He's running calculations, trying to engineer the exact response that keeps her interested without showing too much. He's heard that mystery works. He's heard that pulling back creates attraction. So he does the thing that feels most unnatural. He performs distance instead of just living his life. But here's the problem. She can feel it. Not because she's reading his mind, but because there's a flatness to engineered behavior, a slight delay that feels off, a response that's technically correct but emotionally hollow. And women are very good at detecting that gap, the gap between what someone actually means and what they're saying. It registers as something being wrong, even when she can't name exactly what it is. So she pulls back a little. He panics and recalculates. She pulls back more. And now he's in a loop that has nothing to do with her and everything to do with the fact that his self-worth got tied to her response. That's the real issue. It's not the tactics. Tactics are just the symptom. The root is that every text she sends or doesn't send becomes a verdict on whether he's enough. And that kind of pressure leaks out no matter how carefully he tries to hide it. If you're in that loop right now, genuinely not knowing what she's thinking versus what she's doing, the truth detector is exactly what you need. It cuts through the guessing completely. First link in the description. But back to this, because the guy women actually stay interested in isn't the one who never feels uncertain. Uncertainty is human. The difference is that he feels it and it doesn't run his behavior. He texts when he wants to text. He doesn't when he doesn't. Not as a strategy, just because that's who he actually is. And that groundedness, that realness is what she keeps coming back to. You can't fake it. You either have it or you're working toward it. So ask yourself, when she takes a while to respond, what actually happens inside you? Do you just keep going with your day? Or does your brain start running scenarios? That answer tells you more about where you are than anything else. But type 4. This is the one most guys never see coming, because on the surface, this guy seems like exactly what women say they want. He's nice. Genuinely nice. Not nice because he wants something. He just doesn't like conflict. He doesn't want to make her uncomfortable. He cares about how she feels, maybe a little too much, and so he adjusts every time. She seems like she wants to go somewhere. He's fine with it. She pushes back on something he said. He softens immediately. She pulls away. He gets warmer to compensate. He's constantly reading the room and reshaping himself to keep the temperature comfortable. And women love this guy as a friend. Because here's what's actually happening. Every time he folds, she registers it, not consciously. She's not sitting there thinking, he agreed too fast. It's more like a feeling, a slow realization that there's no resistance here, no edge, nothing pushing back, and attraction without tension is just comfort. Comfort is great, but it doesn't make her heart race. It doesn't make her think about him at 11 p.m. It just makes her feel safe, the same way she feels safe around her cousin. This is the guy who gets told, I don't want to ruin the friendship. And he's blindsided every time because he did everything right. He was considerate. He was supportive. He was there. But being there isn't the same as being wanted, and he never learned the difference. Here's the truth about this type. Women don't want a man who agrees with everything. They want a man who has a point of view and holds it. Not aggressively, not stubbornly. Just, he knows what he thinks and he doesn't immediately abandon it the second she pushes back. That small thing, that little bit of groundedness, that's what creates the tension that makes attraction possible. Think about it. She says she wants to try a restaurant she's heard about. He looks it up. Reviews are bad. His instinct is to just go anyway because she seems excited. But instead he says, I'm not doing that one. The reviews are terrible. I know a better spot. She might push back. He doesn't budge. Trust me. And then he takes her somewhere genuinely good. That whole interaction just told her more about him than 3 weeks of agreeable conversation ever could. He has standards, he's not performing, and he's confident enough to lead even when she resists. That's a completely different feeling than a guy who just goes wherever she points. But here's the part that trips most guys up. They hear this and they think the solution is to start disagreeing on purpose, to manufacture resistance, to say no just to seem like they have standards. That's not it. That's just the overvalidator in a costume. The real version of this is actually having opinions, actually having preferences, actually caring what you think, not just what she thinks of you. You can't fake that. It either comes from somewhere real or she clocks it immediately. So if you've been the agreeable one, the guy who smooths everything over, the one who never rocks the boat, start small. The next time you have an actual opinion, say it. Don't soften it into nothing. Don't immediately follow it with, but I mean, whatever you want. Just say it and hold it. See what happens. More often than not, she respects it, even if she argues, especially if she argues. Now, all 4 of these types have one thing underneath them, one root cause that drives every behavior. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's the need for her approval. The overvalidator needs her to like him, so he hands his approval away first. The performer needs her to be impressed, so he never stops talking about himself. The strategist needs her to stay interested, so he engineers every move. The people pleaser needs her to be comfortable, so he erases himself entirely. 4 different behaviors, same driver, and she feels all of it, even when she can't name it. But the shift isn't a tactic. It's not a line or a strategy or a move. It's actually caring less about whether she approves and more about whether you approve of yourself. That sounds simple. It's not easy, but it's the thing that changes everything underneath. So the behavior on the surface changes naturally. And if you want a real framework for reading what's actually going on with her, not what she's saying, but what she actually means, the book is there, The Truth Detector. First link in the description. It's the fastest way to stop guessing and start actually understanding what you're dealing with. You don't get her attention by chasing it. You get it by being someone worth chasing.